Hey guys, I just want to talk to you about I started flight school. In this video, I just want to talk about my first week of flight school. I started 3/18, and like I said, I'm 55. This is something I've always wanted to do. I work a full-time job. Um, so yeah, it was just something I always wanted to do, and I finally had the time to do it. I worked a year in Georgia, and I worked with a guy who had his own airplane, and he took me up for a flight, and I kind of like realized that, hey, I'm at a point in my life where I can actually make this happen. Now, it took me several months to finally enroll, but yes, I finally enrolled. And this video, I'm just going to talk about my first week and the school that I'm enrolled in, or basically what the school is, or a little bit about it. And so I want to cover the cost. It's $225 per hour. That's wet with fuels. It's just $225 straight billing. I'm in Part 61. I go as I can. I try to schedule at least 3 flights per week. They're in 2-hour blocks. I would say schedule at least 3 because at least one will be canceled because of weather, wind, things that you don't think about, maintenance, instructor, your whatever, but you're going to lose probably one lesson per week, I would say, is you can count on. All right. So the school I'm in I'm in Mooresville, North Carolina. There are currently 8 instructors, 7 instructors, and 8 planes. So instructor availability and plane availability has not been a problem. Yeah, so currently, yeah, it's not been a problem. That's all I'm gonna have to say about that. It's not been a problem. So that's kind of like the basis of where I'm doing. I'm excited to go and do this. It's something I always want to do, and it doesn't really feel like school. The ground school, there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to absorb, but it really doesn't feel like it because it's something that you want to do and it's fun. So my first week, I had 2 lessons. The first lesson is really, I enrolled to get my student pilot's license. I enrolled in the school. I did my birth certificate. Basically, you do everything to prove that you're legal to take flight in the United States. I did all that, and we went out to the plane. We went through a checklist, and I was introduced to the Cessna 172, and we just basically went through a checklist. So that was pretty much my first lesson. 1 hour. It was 1 hour, no flight time, just CFI time. So that was a cheap lesson. My second lesson for the week, I was scheduled for 3. It was actually canceled. My very first flight would have canceled because of wind. Now I'm in my 4th week now, but I'm just going to talk about my first week. But I didn't understand wind was such a big deal in a small plane until I actually did it. So I am glad that my instructor called and asked me if I wanted to do it and explained to me why I would not want to do this. And I ultimately chose not to go. Later on, I understood why that was a good choice to make for my skill level and introduction. But yeah, so my 3rd flight for the week, I did get to go up, and all I can say is it was awesome. It was awesome. The similarities between riding a motorcycle and flying, as far as the control and easy inputs and the motions, there definitely is more motion in an airplane, but it's a very similar experience. Slow inputs, deliberate inputs, and there's so much going on. There were times like my instructor asked me how I was doing, what was going on. I said, I get overwhelmed. But I want to say that my first flight, let me look it up because I'm going to put a link to what module 1 is. But this is my first time up in the plane. And let's see. So he says, my controls. And I was like, okay, sure. And so he says, okay, I want you to make a right turn at 30 degrees. So I had to make a left turn, actually. Make a right turn. And we climbed and we descended and we did a turn and ascent, a descent, then a turn, and I mean, and it just gets to be overwhelming because he's like straight and level, and he pointed out the horizon, and you just realize at that moment, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on in this cockpit. It's crazy. How am I ever going to learn this? And then it hadn't even touched the rudders yet. So, I mean, it was good. I mean, it was an awesome experience. So I didn't do any takeoff. I didn't do any landing, but let's see, what did we go over? Let me just read my logbook, which is, hey, I got my first pilot log. Awesome. That's like first lesson: straight and level, turns, climb, descents, checklist, collision avoidance, procedures. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So we did go to collision avoidance, and I do think that's an important thing, obviously. But yeah, my first lesson. What an awesome experience. And what's funny about my first lesson is I thought that I would be scared. I was a little apprehensive about going up. I mean, flying, it can be scary, but I never got scared, and I don't really think my mind was so involved. I don't think I ever really had time to get scared or anxious about it. So, I mean, I guess I'll keep this short. Like I said, try to keep it short, but I just want to talk about my first experience as a 55-year-old taking flight lessons. And I'm just going to end this here, and thank you for watching. There'll be more I'm going to do. I'm in starting week 4, or I'm 1 month in, starting tomorrow. So I'm going to do week 2, week 3, and then maybe like a 1 month cap of where I'm at and everything that I've done. But yeah, if you want to follow me through my flight aviation journey, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.